Hi everyone, how's it going? I am Louis, the Average Guy 1983. Thank you very much for joining me on this video, man. In today's video, I have an exciting unboxing. I partnered up with a company called Caroma, and they sent out this scooter to me to review. This is the Caroma E66 Pro electric scooter. I'm going to be unboxing it, setting it up, and then taking it out for a test drive and see how it does. So let's go ahead and do the unboxing. Okay, so in the box we get the owner's manual in a Ziploc bag. We get this white box with a 54.6 volt, 1.5 amp hour charger, a set of Allen keys, and some screws to be able to put the handlebar together. All right, so let's take the scooter out of the box and set it up. Wow, this is very lightweight. This looks really nice. Oh, I love this gray color. This looks really cool. Normally I have like black colored scooters or like charcoal gray. This light gray is a nice pleasing color. All right, let me put the box to the side. All right, let's go ahead and get some wire cutters and remove the zip ties. Get this out of the way. Okay, that was the last zip tie to cut out, so cool. All right, so we just got to put this handlebar on, but before we do that, make sure that we connect the two cables together, this one here and this one here. There we go. And then tuck in the cable nicely into the stem and put in the handlebar, just like that. Make sure it's aligned with the holes that are here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put on the screws. I'd use a different Allen key than the one that was supplied. It's a number 3. The reason why is because this one seems like it wants to kind of strip the screw. So just be mindful of that. I'm gonna go ahead and use this one here instead. And what I'm gonna do here is turn the screw counterclockwise until I feel or hear a click. And then that lets me know that the screw aligned itself with the threading of the body of the scooter, and I'll be able to turn it much easier. All right, cool. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put the other 3 screws on, tighten them up, make sure the rest of the scooter is nice and tight, and we'll go ahead and check out the rest of the scooter. One more thing, make sure that the scooter is also locked from the neck, just like that, so you don't have to worry about it wobbling around. Alrighty guys, so I made sure that all the screws on the scooter were tight with these Allen key sets that I have. I'll go ahead and put a link to the Allen keys if you guys want to get some for yourself. I recommend these because I use this on all my scooters so far and they haven't failed me or even caused any of the screw heads to strip. So I highly recommend these. With that said, let's go ahead and get a closer look on the scooter. Okay, so starting with the front, we have a solid 10-inch tire, a kickstand, a large deck with very good rubber grip, a rear fender, the rear motor that's 500 watts, and again, with a solid 10-inch tire, a rear reflector combo with LED lights for the brakes and the nighttime riding, a locking mechanism on top of the fender for the handlebar, similar to that of the Max G30 and Max G2 from Segway, the charging port on the side of the neck, and it has a magnet on the inside. You can see it there. So once you close it, it closes back up in the same direction that it was originally on, which that's really cool. And finally, the drum brake and the brake cable that's adjustable. Alrighty, so here is the handlebar area. This is the cockpit information. Let's go ahead and remove the little sticker off. Hopefully you guys are able to see this good. What we have here is a tag that was included in the scooter, which was very nice of Caroma to include. The information is pretty simple. It tells you here that the first one is going to be your status indicator. Your larger display in the top is going to say current speed display, which is your miles per hour, which you're currently riding. Your gear selector from eco mode, drive, and sport mode. And then you also have your total mileage that you did for the trip and your battery indicator. In the back, you can see that there are 2 more buttons to display. Number 1 is the power button here on the throttle, and then you have your throttle here. You have the locking mechanism for the handlebar to lock into place on the scooter so you can carry wherever you like. And then over here we have, all right, so I hope you guys can see this pretty good. I zoomed in so you guys can see the button layout here. You have a plus and a minus sign, which are your gear selectors to go between eco, drive, and sport mode. And then you have your headlight button here. And then on this side over here is your cruise control button. You have your bell that sounds like that. And finally, you have your brake handle. All right, so we got a close-up of the display. Let's go ahead and turn it on and see how long it takes to turn on. 1, 2. Okay, so it takes about 2.5 seconds to turn on, and this is the information you get. You get your speedometer information, you get your total miles, and then you get your battery power indicator, And right here, like I mentioned earlier, if you push the plus button, you can change gears from eco, drive, and sport mode, then push the minus button to go back down to the original gear that you were in at first. So this is pretty cool. So let me go ahead and show you guys the headlight, because I forgot to show you guys that. Okay, so this right here is the headlight. I wanted to show you guys that this headlight is fully adjustable. If I just move the brake cable out of the way, you can see that this light can be adjusted all the way down if you really need to go that down, or all the way up like that. And all you got to do is just push this button right here for the light. It makes a beep sound and it turns the light on, and now you can see what the light looks like on. Turn it back off by pushing the button really quick, and it turns it back off. Okay, so right here with the tail light, if I hold on to the brake handle, it turns on and it flashes. And if I turn on the headlight and tail light combo with the push of a button, like I said earlier, you hear the beep sound, it turns it on for nighttime visibility. And again, if you press down that brake handle to slow down, you get flashing. So there you go. All we got to do now is just power the light down again. So again, the headlight and the tail light are connected together. So when you turn off the headlight, the brake light also turns off. But you can continue to use the brake light when you push on the handle. All right, so here's the bottom of the scooter so you guys can see. We have the model number, which is E66 Pro, the maximum speed limit, which is 20 miles an hour. You got your maximum rider weight, which is 264 pounds. I'm a little concerned about this because on the Amazon link, it says 300 pounds, but right here it says 264. I weigh 285 pounds, so I'm basically 21 pounds over the max rider limit, so I hope I don't have any issues with the scooter riding it around, but obviously I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion on the scooter. With that said, it does have a battery rate of 48 volts at 7.8 amp hours. So based on the 7.8 amp hours, I do consider this scooter to be a short range commuter. With that said, for the price of under $400, you can't really beat this, and that is a for sure thing. We're going to see how everything is with the braking as well. Some people have complained about the brakes being a little too mushy, and other people say that the brake is very sharp. I think it really depends on the rider's weight limit on how fast or slow the scooter stops when it comes to drum brakes, because I've had similar issues with my Max G2, which I was able to improve that by tightening up the brakes, which is what I'm going to do with this scooter as well to make sure that it's at its max, braking point. With that said, you guys can also see right over here on the back wheel, we also have a shock. This should help reduce some of that hard-hitting vibration sounds and bumps because this scooter is using solid tires. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so here I am with the Caroma E66 Pro. I'm going to be doing a quick little ride around in the city, just really quick around the block. I'm going to let you guys know right now that I did have to adjust the brake because it felt too mushy. I already basically maxed out the braking point, so I cannot adjust it any further. I also adjusted the locking mechanism right here for the scooter to be able to lock into place, and I also adjusted the angle of the handbrake so that this way it can be more comfortable to my hand. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and do a test on how fast it can go with the scooter being in eco mode. And what I'm going to be doing is just pressing down on the throttle. If you push it down like this, you'll see that the scooter doesn't move. However, you can keep the hand on the throttle down, and all you have to do is start kicking the scooter and everything will be working fine. So all you have to do is keep your hand on the throttle and then kick, and the scooter will start taking off. So here we go, 0 to 10. Okay, on the display it shows that it already reached 10. So let's go ahead and stop here. So that is 10, and we're going to go ahead and do the next test, which is going to be in drive mode. So let's go ahead and repeat the test. Okay, we're about to repeat the test again. This time it's going to be in drive mode and see how long it takes to get to 15. So here we go. Okay, it seems like we reached 15 based on what the display says. So not so bad. We're going to be doing a test in sport mode up in the street and see how it does. So let me take you to that clip now. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are now in the street. We're on Avenue 64 in Meridian, and we are about to test out to see how the scooter does in sport mode which is supposed to take you up to 20 miles an hour. And I'm keeping my eye out for traffic as well. Okay, I can definitely feel the bumps on the road with these solid tires versus, you know, tubeless tires. But at the same time, it is reaching 19 right now. 20. We got a small peak of 20. Not bad. But talking about the ride quality, you could feel the road very like rough. But again, you know, for solid tires, you don't have to worry about adding air into them. You don't have to worry about going over glass and, you know, getting a flat tire or getting a really sharp nail or anything like that on the scooter, which is pretty nice. The braking stops pretty well. So I'm glad that I was able to adjust it, because the very first time I rode it, the scooter did feel very mushy from its brake. And that was a bit of a concern, but now I do have it completely maxed out. So yeah, it stops fairly well for what it is. All right, and again, guys, man, like I mentioned before, 285 pounds. So this ride quality, as well as the speed, the acceleration, how much range you're gonna get on the scooter like this, it's really dependent mainly on the rider's weight and the terrain that you're going in. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop this video right here, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my final thoughts on this scooter and who is this scooter exactly for. So let's go ahead and go to that. Alrighty guys, so I forgot to show you that this scooter has ambient lighting. To turn on the ambient lighting at nighttime, all you have to do is press and hold the headlight button until you hear a beep sound. Once you hear the beep sound, the ambient lighting turns on in a nice cool blue color. It looks awesome. You might be seeing on your screen right now that there is some slight little flickering going on as the light dims down, but I promise you that in person it's not doing that. It's just a flicker problem between my Sony Alpha 7 IV and the LED light recording in 4K 60. So I hope you guys can understand that it doesn't do that in person. To turn on the headlight, while the ambient lighting is on, you just, of course, like before, just simply push the headlight button one time. You hear a beep sound, and there's your headlight and your tail light. Another thing I didn't know was that the brake light works with the ambient lighting together. So when you press and hold the brake handle, you get flashing from both the tail light and the ambient lighting on the deck. This would allow people to know that you're slowing down, and you know, people will maybe have the kindness in their heart to stop or slow down behind you. With that said, this is the headlight, and as you guys can see, the headlight is reasonably bright, but like you guys were able to see earlier, that same little circle shape that you see for that headlight is exactly what this is. So I would honestly suggest that you use this as a fog light, and you just adjust the light down similar to here so that you can see what's in front of you on the floor. There's enough space on the handlebar to put a handlebar extender and a LED light bar in the front that's much brighter that you can then use as a main headlight. So use this stock headlight as a fog light with it adjusted to the way you want, and then a extension bar at the top with the LED aftermarket headlight for your main headlight, and you're good to go. Now, one thing that this scooter does not have is turn signals, but again, for the price of 400 bucks, you know, you can't beat this performance on the scooter. Now, the brakes, like I mentioned earlier, they could be better, and I noticed that the brake is a lot smaller than that of my Max G2. I already have the brake maxed out on its setting, so it's not going to stop any faster. That unfortunately has to do with my weight, like I mentioned earlier, 285. If you're lighter, the scooter is going to stop a lot faster than with actual weight on it exceeding the 264 pounds. So just keep that in mind. With that said, man, this is it for this part of the nighttime view. I just wanted to show you guys what this looks like at night because it looks really cool. Again, you can turn off the headlight, and if you press and hold the headlight button and you hear a beep sound, you can then turn off the ambient lighting, and it's really cool. And if you want the ambient lighting off and just the headlight on, Simply just push the button for the headlight and you get that back on. And again, press it again, it turns back off. Very simple. So with that said, let's go ahead and wrap this up and give you guys my final thoughts on this scooter and who I think this is for. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so now we're in the basement. We're ready to talk about the performance of the scooter, and I would like to talk to you guys, 100% honest and tell you who I feel that this scooter is for. Okay, so first off, let's talk about the braking. So I was able to adjust the brake to its maximum tightness setting right before the brake would actually start touching the edge of the rim as the wheel is spinning. I did that with my Max J2 also, and I was able to increase the performance. Again, it's not all that great because it's just a single drum brake versus dual drum brakes or disc brakes, but it did pretty well for what it is. I do recommend that if your scooter comes with the brake a little too tight, you can always loosen it up. You just need a 10mm wrench and a 14mm wrench, and you can just loosen it up a little bit that way. And the same thing, tighten it. So talking about the battery life, the battery is pretty short. It is 48 volts at 7.8 amp hours. So like I said earlier, I do consider this scooter to be a short range commuter. I feel like this scooter would be great to be used in places like parks, bike lanes, anywhere like a beach, for example, like to go to and just have just fun, riding around. I think this scooter is perfect for that. The main reason why is because it has too slow of an acceleration on the scooter, and I thought that was kind of weird because when I did my little test on eco mode, drive, and sport mode, I noticed that on eco mode the scooter actually took off pretty quickly and it felt comfortable getting me from 0 to 10. But then when I switched over to drive mode and sport mode, I noticed that the scooter was kind of sluggish and slowly creeping up to the speed that I was trying to get. And that is something that isn't quite good for street riding. So unless you're in a dedicated bike lane, then you're good. But if you're riding in the street with traffic and you have to stay on the right side, that is where things can cause problems for you, and you can anger a lot of motorists with that, with the scooter being too slow. Now again, this could have happened because I weigh 285 pounds and I'm technically speaking 21 pounds over the maximum weight limit of the scooter based on the label. However, it would be nice if Caroma can chime in the comments section and let us know whether the scooter really is 300 pounds max limit or 264 pounds weight limit, because under the Amazon link it says 300 pounds, but on the label of the scooter as well as the Caroma.com website, it does state that it's 264. So it'd be nice for you guys to clarify that. So with that said, I could only give you guys my feedback based on the performance that I got on my current weight. Now, would I consider buying this scooter for myself or for a loved one? For myself, probably not, because it wouldn't meet my requirements based on the speed that I need on the scooter, plus the acceleration is something that's very important. However, I would buy this for someone like my wife who has never ridden an electric scooter. Same thing for my mom. My mom is 60 years old and I would love to have something like this for her so that she can be able to get around quickly to a grocery store or back home, etc., and not have to worry about carrying such a heavy scooter as well. I feel like the scooter is more for people who are beginners. So teenagers and adults that are starting out with electric scooter riding, this will be great. And the main reason is because you don't have that much torque on the scooter, so it's more of a comfort type riding experience. Now, talking about the ride quality, you are going to feel some roughness on the road depending where you're at because the tires are solid. The good thing about having solid tires is that you don't ever have to worry about getting a flat. So that is kind of a sacrifice that you'll have to deal with versus having tubeless tires or tube tires, which are a little bit softer. For the price of $400, again, the performance you're getting out of the scooter, the fact that even though I'm 285 pounds, the scooter still got me to 19 miles an hour and it kept up with 19 miles an hour, I think that was really good. So keep that in mind, if you're actually trying to buy something for yourself. But I would recommend it for people that are under like 230 to be realistic. This way you won't have any issues with the brakes being too slow. You won't have any issues with acceleration. And that's just being honest, on my feedback. But with that said, man, if you are interested in purchasing the scooter for a loved one or for yourself as an entry-level scooter, please feel free to use the link in the description as well as the link in the pinned comments and the discount code of TAG1983 to get yourself 10% off on this scooter or any scooter that's available in the Caroma.com website. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope you guys found my feedback valuable and useful and trustworthy. I'll see you guys very soon. Have a good one.